concept, how to draw almost anything.
Welcome to another video. Today we're going to do hardcore Minecraft. We'll do a hardcore Minecraft series. I think, at least if I can. Don't worry about the mod, I just have it there for no reason at all. Anyway, welcome to a video where I got a new GA1. Oh my gosh, that is insane. Well, let's get some basic tools. Oh my gosh, this will be fun. We'll grab one more log. Yes, I'm plugging them in there because I wanted to. There we are. Perfect. Right around you. Do I see in the distance over there? Why does this happen? People think, oh, it's fine. We won't die on the main, it's fine. I doubt it's fine. Plus, there's a freaking Pillager outpost over there that I really want to go to, but I'm scared I'm gonna die, so I'm not going over there yet. And why did spawn near? Why is it near spawn? Spawn's supposed to be over there. Oh, this will be fun. I can make a med kit built like it's stick level, 2 different rules and pick up 4. I can't need that. Laser shield. Penetration turret, auto turret. Sentry turret is crazy. Yeah, where is my arrow? Oh. it's gonna be a fun day. Yeah, I got that. This is just. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I've been back from that. You know, they need to make Comfort Rivera for one day. Come on. Just one day. Cup goals, you can do all sorts of stuff. Now, look at this. Look at this. I can go for it. How much does it go? I gotta find this stuff when I do my fucking pickaxe. Okay. I'm gonna put on my little Go ahead and grab this, head on down. Let's go ahead and turn this into charcoal. Maybe 12 pieces. You know what? That takes me for a minute. I'll take this resource. Let's go. And yes, this is going to be all legend. No edits. See me. go, bro. Slowly, not fast. Thank you, bro. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this done. Yeah, I think but this will be a good one. This minus good for this. Sometimes in these games, as I usually never get cold, because that's the only thing I can find. Either if you find iron or but no cold. So I am lucky. Need 3 world rank advantage. Generation 2 30 tips. 6 health cores all attacks. That will be good. Because they do effects. $9 Fire Street. Bandages. You need bandages. Oh, okay, so you have to wait for it. That's good then. And we also get some, so let's get that too. This is really nice. Boost technique. Wyatt, why does it works the same amount of time? Generation 10 for 10 minutes is a 5 minutes. Okay, this has to be the thing I have to get. Let's see. also find dinos, and I know which is going to be a pain because I have to go underground. I hate going underground. That's why it is. But what if I just go to the end like this? That would be fun because I have these so I can reject. Almost a start.
Here's how my cute pizza turned out.
multi-millionaire father, expecting him to laugh. But what he did next completely ruined her life in less than 5 minutes. For 3 years, I lived in a psychological prison with Chloe. She came from old money, while I was a regular accountant, and behind closed doors, she was a monster, screaming until her veins popped, throwing heavy objects at my head, and controlling every penny I made. She always reminded me that if I ever stepped out of line, her dad would use his power to erase me from existence. Tonight, we were sitting in her father's massive dining room for Sunday dinner. Her dad, Richard, was a terrifyingly powerful man, and I sat there keeping my mouth shut, praying I wouldn't trigger her. The explosion happened because I mentioned very quietly that I wanted to spend Thanksgiving with my sick mother, instead of going to Chloe's friend's yacht party in Miami. Chloe's face turned instantly purple. She slammed her hands on the mahogany table. "Are you out of your mind?" She shrieked. "Your mother can wait. You do what I say, or you can go back to living in the gutter." I looked down at my plate, my heart hammering. "Chloe, please, she's really sick." That was it. She snatched her mug of steaming black coffee and flung it straight at my face. It soaked my shirt, burning my skin, dripping down my cheeks. I flinched from the stinging heat, but I didn't move. I was too terrified. Chloe scoffed, turning to her father with a smug smile. "See, Dad, I told you he was a pathetic loser. Tell him to get out of our sight." I braced myself for Richard to yell at me, but the room just went dead silent, deathly silent. Richard slowly put down his wine glass with a delicate clink. He looked directly at his daughter, his eyes colder than ice. "Chloe Elizabeth Vance," he said, his voice dropping to a low growl. "What did you just do?" Chloe blinked, her smile faltering. "Dad, come on, he's being disrespectful." Richard stood up slowly. He walked right past his daughter, grabbed a clean linen napkin, and handed it to me. "Wipe your face, son," he said softly. Then he turned back to Chloe. "Sit down." Chloe gasped. "Dad, why are you yelling at me?" I said, "Sit down." Richard roared, his voice shaking the room. Chloe slammed back into her chair, her face draining of color. Richard walked to a heavy desk, pulled out a thick black leather folder, and dropped it on the table. "Open it," he told me. Inside were dozens of high-resolution photos of my bruised arms and kitchen wreckage from her rages. There were bank statements showing Chloe had secretly transferred over $50,000 out of my personal savings into a hidden offshore fund, and worst of all, screenshots of her texting her trainer, mocking me, planning to strip me of everything. "Dad, where did you get that?" Chloe whispered, trembling violently. Richard leaned over the table. "I have had a private investigator tracking you for 2 years, Chloe. My own father was an abusive psycho who destroyed my mother. When I built my wealth, I swore on her grave I would never tolerate an abuser in my circle. You are just like him." "Dad, please," Chloe screamed, tears pouring down her face. "Do not lie to me," Richard snapped. "You are cut off, effective right now. Your credit cards are canceled. Your name is stripped from the family trust. The keys to the penthouse belong to my company, and the locks are being changed tonight." He turned to me, his expression softening. He slid a small white card into my hand. "This is the cell phone number for the most brutal divorce attorney in this country. I am paying his retainer. He will get every single dollar back that she stole from you. You are free, son." Chloe lost her mind, falling to her knees, sobbing on the floor. "You can't do this. He is a nobody." Richard didn't even flinch. He pulled out his phone, dialed security, and spoke clearly. "Come to the main dining room. I need an intruder removed immediately." He looked down at Chloe one last time. "You are no daughter of mine." My wife threw her boiling hot coffee.
Mark became obsessed with a giant python that was sold by the foot.
No. We're not made of money.
He brought the snake to the dinner table and promptly named it Strangle. On the very first day, the snake pulled off a classic Simpson-style chokehold, wrapping itself tightly around Homer's neck.
Don't give snake attention. Walk over there. Okay.
The next day, Mark's python swallowed Martin's credit. The teacher scolded Mark for bringing a snake to school and even threatened to send it to the principal's office. Just then, the python escaped. The teacher immediately triggered the lost peddlers, and the entire school fell into panic. Santa's little helper arrived with the police as a K-9 unit. At first, he frantically scratched in a locker, but when officers opened it, they found nothing except a dog frisbee Mark had left behind.
You can see it, Jim.
Meanwhile, the python slithered into the science lab, climbed up the table leg, and mistook a computer mouse for a real one. Since it wasn't a cobra, its eyesight wasn't very good, and it accidentally knocked over 2 bottles of chemicals. The chemicals reacted and released a cloud of white smoke that quickly spread throughout the school. Principal Skinner gathered all the students on the playground, only to realize Mark was missing. Without hesitation, Santa's little helper charged back into the building.
Let him go, Bill. He's got blood on his nose this time. Following his heart.
You follow your heart, boy.
By then, Mark had already passed out from the smoke. When he opened his eyes, he saw both the python he had been searching for and Santa's little helper coming to rescue him. After an emotional struggle, Mark finally chose Santa's little helper. He happily played fetch with the dog while the python watched sadly from a distance until...
Why do machinists still have to pass hand skill tests, even after engineers built 5-axis CNC machines? The top machinist can make a part by hand that is extremely close to perfect. But here is the question. Don't we already have machines that are much more precise? A 5-axis CNC machine can automatically change tools. It can drill holes, mill flat surfaces, cut slots, threads. It can even machine complex curved surfaces. So it sounds like workers only need to know how to use the machine. But the problem appears very quickly. When a machinist puts a piece of raw material into the machine, he may not even know which face should become the first datum. The machine will not warn you. It will simply keep cutting according to the coordinates you gave it. In the end, the part may look extremely precise, but every hole, every surface, and every edge may be precisely wrong in the same direction. And it gets more complicated. Metal is not dead. After a piece of metal is clamped, it may deform slightly. If the tool cuts too aggressively, the surface can overheat. If too little material is left for finishing, the final cut has no room to correct the part. So hand skill testing is not about forcing machinists back into the past. It forces them...
Okay, food's done. Well, it's time for us to go home. Well, we got on it. Let's get that because we have to swim after nine times. At least three. At least enough to make four diamonds. It's like 24 diamonds.